My name's Sara and I'm currently a PhD student here at James Cook Uni, but for my undergraduate I studied a Bachelor of Science and majored in Maths and Physics. I actually originally really wanted to get into the sports science area, and I was recommended to potentially think about going through the maths way of doing that. So with my maths and physics I've actually gone into the area of biomechanics, and I've been focusing on the sport area of that. So really, I suppose originally I wanted to do sport, but given my ability to do maths, I decided that it was probably better for me to focus on going into the sport industry through maths and physics. Yeah, well, originally, I've never been bad at maths, but it was never my most favourite subject at school until I actually had a really, really good teacher when I was in grade 9, I think it was, and just her passion for maths, it just got me more and more interested in it, and I actually ended up really, really enjoying studying maths in high school. And yeah, I suppose the turning point for me personally probably would have been the enthusiasm and just the amazing teacher that I had when I was younger, because I honestly think that if she wasn't such a passionate and so excited about maths itself, I probably wouldn't be that passionate and excited about it as I am today. So I think having that teacher was a huge turning point for me and really got me interested in that particular area. Well, when I finished my undergraduate, I actually got a job at the Australian Institute of Sport working in the biomechanics department. So my maths skills I have essentially been applying to a real industry-based sort of area. So I now lecture biomechanics, so I do have to lecture maths as well, and it's been a bit of an eye-opener about how I teach maths to students, and I don't really know if I can define the particular skills that I use for teaching that, but I think showing the passion that I have behind the maths and the physics, I think helps the students understand, and also just giving real life examples of where I have applied my maths and physics, I think helps a lot as well, because so many students sit there and go, oh, when am I going to use this again? And I think the fact that I can say, well, if you get into these types of industries you will be using it again, I think has helped a lot. I think my experience that I've had with the students that I've seen at uni, I see that there is a bit of a gap there, that some of them are lacking some skills maths-wise, and I know it's not entirely the education system's fault, but you can see that some of these, just some things, some students are lacking, and I don't think it's not because they're not taught well. I think that it could be potentially because students just don't realise how handy maths can be down the track, and realise that, yeah, sometimes in the industries you go into, you are going to have to use these skills you're learning. It's not just something you need to learn and forget about. So I think having that knowledge will sort of potentially help me if I do end up going down that track. Oh, I'm encountering some students who are just struggling with basic algebra. Biomechanics is essentially sport physics, so we use a lot of physics concepts, and they do need to solve equations for certain unknowns, and some students are struggling at just even doing that, some really basic stuff. And I don't know if it's just because they don't get it drilled into them anymore, or I'm not sure what it is. You can't really blame anyone, but I do notice even just things as basic as that some students are struggling with. So yeah, I know that to begin with, when I was first learning algebra and things like that, yeah, I struggled a little with it and made mistakes, and the teacher that I had, she just gave me problem after problem after problem, and just practiced and practiced and practiced over and over again. You can't, police what students are going to do for homework and that sort of thing, so I practiced things over and over again, even in class, and I think, well, for me personally, that probably helped. Originally, when I finished my undergraduate, I did move to Canberra and worked in the actual sports science industry, and I really, really loved that, and I thought that that was where I actually wanted to continue to work. But having since come back and started lecturing here, I'm really enjoying lecturing. I'm finding it really, really rewarding. So personally, I'd like to finish my PhD and keep on lecturing for the time being, but down the track I have thought about potentially going back and doing a diploma of education and getting into the school system. So I think just love and be excited about what you're doing. Like I said, the best teachers that I ever had were the ones that were passionate and excited about it, and you could just tell they just loved what they were teaching. I think that's a huge thing, just be passionate about it. And I think giving real life examples of where some of these or some of the maths concepts are used also helps, because I know, even now as a lecturer, I hear it all the time. Students go, why am I learning this? When am I going to use this again? So I think having real life examples of things also helps.